DUMSOR say me quite, me kuruma quite, me cutting quite. DUMSOR say me quite, ama me baby kuare neuro. DUMSOR say me quite, ama me baby kuare. DUMSOR say me quite, me kuruma quite. DUMSOR say me quite, ama me baby kuare neuro. DUMSOR say me quite, ama me baby kuare. Obin breme siche, obin breme katie. Maybe huno bankui, every side DUMSOR say me quite. DUMSOR say me quite, ama me baby kuare. DUMSOR say ama me baby kuare.
So Ghana, our motherland, we can never stop talking about Ghana. Ghana, my happy home, my happy
Ghana,
home.
the land of freedom, freedom. Toils of the brave. Da 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 da.
Hey,
Where you go for Ghana? Where if you start, somebody start song nicely, so no, you Ghana.
You quarantine the song.
You quarantine the song.
To me, pipiasi ayi ahinkro primary.
That song, I forget the lyrics to honestly. Ghana, the land of freedom.
Toils of the brave. Da 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 da.
Then you don't know the lyrics.
I mean, I don't grow up in Nkrumah in time.
No.
I not be
This is the
Nkrumah.
unpatriotism some way.
The national play, you know, say. I be forget.
I forget.
I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana and my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana, with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers. And I promise to uphold in all things. I promise in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. I kill him.
You kill him.
Okay, national anthem, make it go. Hey, you get.
God bless our homeland. God.
You see the Black Stars are already the first single.
More than no. And make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish
fearless honesty. That be where we fuck up.
Every time people they talk, say make a fair, make a cherish. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forever.
We really resist the oppressors.
But when I anthem debut,
it be heavy. The words inside. We grew up with it.
DUMSOR. People who do not know what DUMSOR means, our fellow Ghanaians, might know what it means, but for purely educational purposes, other viewers who may not understand, can anybody help us with DUMSOR means? Can anybody help us with what
DUMSOR literally
definition of DUMSOR?
Basically, power outages, erratic power outages.
That's the word, erratic power outages.
But DUMSOR in Ghanaian language literally translates off and on.
Yeah, on and off.
Off and on.
Yep.
DUMSOR. Dum means off, on means so.
Yep.
DUMSOR.
So how far back can we go with? I mean, can you remember DUMSOR happening in Ghana? Because I think we all witnessed it.
Mm-hmm. It has been, actually, for this magnitude, then maybe you can say 10, 20 years, or 15, 20.
How long have you been in China for?
Over 10 years, 15 years.
Okay, so this was before moving to China, right?
Yeah, but those days we don't call it DUMSOR. It was like the Russian power.
So we can call that one power rationing.
Rationing. Yeah,
but this one is kind of like erratic.
Yeah, this one is
outages. No schedule.
Yeah.
Have people been conditioned right now? It's like people don't really. It's been normalized.
I think rather people are becoming agitated by it.
Because I think the reason is how long can this go on? It's not about politics here. NDC faced it. MPP is facing it. Even under Kufuor, it started. It was happening. Mm-hmm. So where my problem is that all these brilliant minds that we have quote unquote, all these brilliant minds that we have, that we vote for them, put them in power, they cannot solve this kind of issue.
Just, rightly said, right? Or you said that people are becoming more agitated by the erratic, way the government is doing it, because they actually refuse to come out with a timetable so people can actually be more conscious about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they can make plans for the whatever problem or whatever you might call it. But the point is, people are getting agitated. Why isn't anybody really kind of doing anything about it, as in terms of protesting or getting out on the streets and demanding what is rightfully?
I would look at it this way.
Speak up.
No matter how much demonstration or whatever we have, the problem, it won't solve the problem.
It will still persist.
Because I think, in the first place, we haven't, as a nation, put in place measures to secure our power supply even into the future. So even if this one is solved now, it's going to happen again, because the same facilities we're using is the same facilities that we're going to be using in the near future, because you don't see any efforts being made to make it better. For example, there are many countries that are running on multiple, even countries that are running on nuclear, they still have wind power, they have solar power, even places where they don't have enough sunlight. So I think that
now people even got biofuels.
Exactly. So their countries are generating, Honorable Kennedy Japong was saying that in India, some factories even generate their own electricity by producing thermal power, like sugarcane factories and all that. So I think we have to look at, as a nation, look at the core of the problem and secure it for the foreseeable future. Like I rightly said, you don't see any wind turbines anywhere in Ghana. You don't see solar being promoted by government, which I believe, let's take solar for instance. If government was able to subsidize solar for even private developers, then there are a lot of houses whose energy needs can be 100% taken care of by solar energy. If it's subsidized and people can buy privately and install in their homes, then there will be less pressure on the national grid. But what do we have? We have just a Kosovo Dam, Bui Dam. And the population keeps growing, the energy needs keep growing, but we're not getting ahead of the problem. So even if we demonstrate now, I believe at most in 10 years we'll have another major problem, because things keep expanding. We just have to get ahead of the whole situation.
Why is the government also refusing to come out with this timetable?
Sometimes, these are politicians, these are politicians. You find it hard to understand their thought process, because like you said, there are so many ways we can generate power for the populace. Easy.
Yeah.
We've seen other countries do it.
Yeah.
The blueprint is there for us to follow. But we are so archaic in the mind. Or I think our politicians think that we don't know what is going on. As the citizens, we don't know what is going on in the world. So they keep telling us, Akosombo, the water is short. We don't have a lot of water. So, and just come out and say, listen, this is the problem. Like you said, they can release a timetable, but just come out and tell us what exactly the problem is.
And how long we are expecting this to happen.
And
so
then we know in the next 3 years, 4 years, you guys will come up with a brilliant plan to change all these things. It didn't start from today. They used it against some other government before. You understand? And today, we are still facing the same problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that wasn't really a direct answer to the question, bro. You might probably come up with something.
I think
why are they not releasing the timetable? It feels like it's been dragging for weeks.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So the reason why because they've campaigned against it before. They've talked. So now I cannot say this is the actual problem.
Yeah.
So they are just
that's
dilly-dallying with the decision, because the moment they own up, it means that you've not done better than
it just means they've accepted that this is DUMSOR.
Yeah, but we all know it is.
Right.
But exactly, the masses are not idiots. They can clearly tell this is DUMSOR.
Yeah.
So why not give them a timetable so they can prepare accordingly? If I know I'm not gonna have electricity in my home, on a Tuesday night.
Then I don't
there
mix,
are measures I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put.
I don't mix
things, measures I'm
soup
not gonna,
in large quantity and put it in the fridge.
Exactly, things I'm not gonna, do just so that I can keep my electronic appliances.
Even my soup you're talking
about. Soup is very important.
My fridge is filling, so if my fridge is broken, so if I cannot even cook.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So why do you think it's so difficult to come up with a timetable?
Another reason
Let's not forget, it's an election year. Though.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's election year. And once you come up with a timetable, first of all, like you said, you accept that your criticism of the previous government's performance is unjustified.
Yeah.
And secondly, we're in an election year. So once you bring out a timetable, you accept that you are falling back into DUMSOR. So you have given up. You're giving yourself away that you are incapable of securing the electric needs of the populace, and that will go against you in the election. Because trust me, if someone is doing any business, cold fish, any business that deals with electricity,
and which is pretty much 99%
of everything now. Even if you're doing content, you still need electricity. So it just means giving away your victory. So I think that's the reason.
My other question is, they will not, whichever way, it will affect you anyways, because people are already feeling the pain.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you come out and you admit that, listen, this is the problem we have on our hands, this is the timetable, we are trying to work something out, just give us this time. Yes, people will say, okay, fine, we understand, although you lied to us, we understand, it has been part of us, so we will adjust according to the timetable. But since you don't come out and say something, I think they are rather hurting themselves more, as in their party more, than what they think, because we are not fools.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from both sides, it's fascinating, because right now it gets me thinking, do they actually prioritize their parties over the people of the country?
This is a no question.
That is what our party politics looks like. It's
now in this particular scenario,
I think
it's an election, and you just carefully said, right?
Yeah.
They're trying not to get people all riled up, thinking, oh, you're doing the exact same thing.
The answer is in the pudding.
And also, even with that, I saw a comment on one of the video where someone was saying that besides the elections or prioritizing party interests and all that, even their own personal interests, like as in the people up there, once the power goes out, their automatic generators kick in, so they don't feel what the ordinary person feels.
They are so detached.
Yeah, exactly. These generators that have this automatic kick-in thing, which latency is usually about 1 second. Once national power goes out, this one kicks in. These things cost like $100,000, $200,000, $150,000. Only they can afford those ones.
Professor Adai.
Yeah.
From the University of Lagos.
Yeah.
He was interviewed a couple of days ago or a week ago, and he said he can feel the pain of but for him, he's using currently he has been on solar.
Right.
Solar energy. So he doesn't really experience DUMSOR anymore.
Exactly.
You understand?
And there are even ACs now that run on solar power.
Solar panels.
So yeah.
You understand?
So the problem, understanding all these dynamics and all these treacheries from all these political parties, why would any Ghanaian of a sound mind go out there to vote?
Party affiliation. Unyielding, unflinching loyalty to parties.
Yes.
So even if things are not going well,
blind loyalty, that's the word.
There are people who are just locked their minds to a certain party affiliation, and nothing will break their backs. And they will say, in the same way, but still I bet my MPP. Or another person will say, nah, for me I'm NDC. Even if the MPP is doing well, I'm still going to, let's call a spade a spade. People are going to say, no matter what good MPP is doing, I'm still going to vote for NDC. So I think it's this strong, unwilling nature to move away from party affiliation. That's what is getting people into these kind of...
See how he talk up. He be the exact person. If he day house, that be what he will talk. Oh, they be tradition, then pass on the
no
MPP.
Matter what,
no matter what.
All right, now this brings three very prominent people to mind. One is, I think we did a video about the Nigerian president, talking about not condemning your country, not saying, ill will stuff against your country. And then I think we heard, I think a couple of years ago, a year ago, our very own president, right? Nana Akufo-Addo used to talk about how we have the youngest populace on the continent. We want these energies to stay in the country. All right. And I also heard, I think I saw like on Instagram, Bella Mundi. We all know Bella Mundi, like prominent broadcaster. And host of tons of shows. She said the same thing. She was like, she spoke to a girl, a very young girl who was, I think, pursuing a degree in geriatrics, I think something like that. And she kind of went further to ask the girl, what is her plans after finishing or bagging her degree? And she's like, she's going to Japata. If you know what Japata means. Find a job overseas.
Yeah, overseas, yeah.
So she was asking that very, conundrum that people think about. Can you really make it in Ghana, or you really have to leave to make it?
I think with the evidence that we see around, it looks like the people, besides the foreigners who make it big in Ghana, if you look at most of the...
Oh, so I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
First question, should the young population of Africa, should they stay in Africa?
I think if you are thinking patriotically, you shouldn't leave. But if you're using your head as an individual, you should leave if you have the chance.
All right, let's run it by them. What do you think? Should they stay in Africa? Just like Nana Akufo-Addo said. The energies, the young people's energies should be harnessed. They should stay in Africa.
If the platform to succeed, it's a bit flexible and softer, then I'll say you don't need to. But you wake up every day and the challenge you had yesterday is tougher than just within 24 hours. So I would say, no, you shouldn't. I know there's money involved in trying to leave the country and all that, but it is better because the next day, look, we are talking about DUMSOR here. You have a plan. Let's say you have a meeting or you have a project. You need to go and explain your project to someone, yeah? And then you have to wake up the next day, no light off. No lights. Yeah? Your project you have was you need light to go and exhibit your stuff.
I mean, these are just basic.
Exactly. Like, so if you cannot get
that facilitate progress,
you use the right word. It's basic. So if you cannot get the basic, just the basics, you cannot get it right. Why should I stay in the country?
Cool.
Like that.
So number two, Bella Mundi's assertions. Or questions, whatever you might call it. Do you only have to leave the shores of Ghana or Africa? I don't know. I can't really say because there are some parts of Africa that are doing really, really well, right? So we can't really put them all in the same bubble. So, but do you really have to get out of the shores of Ghana before you can make it in life?
I think I'll come in here and say, if you look at Ghana and look at most of the successful people, these are people who went out of the country and came back to do well. It's hard to find someone who has
started from scratch
within Ghana. Look at even our interest rates. You might have a brilliant idea and hardworking, but if you want to get a loan from a bank, first of all, the interest rate is high. It puts you off. Secondly, you don't even have any collateral to even get a loan to start something.
Not even a credit line.
So you need to bring the money from outside to start a business in order to be successful. Now, if you see examples like this, then it becomes a trend. Everybody wants to do the same. Even if you think that you can make it in Ghana, because you have seen predecessors only succeed after returning, you also want to follow the same trend. So you don't even want to start from within the country. So that makes it difficult for people to actually flourish.
You talked about interest rates. You have to look at minimum wage. It is nothing like absolutely nothing.
But this is what I'm saying. I mean, if my minimum wage sucks in the first place, but at least provide the basic necessities that I need to make my life.
So when you look at you look at minimum wage, it deters you because you talk to somebody who has traveled outside and practically doing, quote unquote, a shitty job that maybe in your comfort zone you will not even attempt doing. And you compare that minimum wage to yours, that you sit in the office and a tie, and it's 3-4 times.
That depends on the economies of scale, right? You cannot compare like the two societies. But at the end of the day, my point is that we're talking about very basic stuff that the person needs to just to survive, right?
So basic. So we are looking at. Let's look at it basically. Your minimum wage is nothing. You can go. Even your taxi fare to your workplace takes all your salary.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. When it comes to like DUMSOR specific, like the electricity provision, right? The point is that my minimum wage sucks, but at least I will do my part as a citizen to pay it off when you bring me my bill.
Sure,
But the problem
that
is
is what a lot of people
providing me
do.
that basic necessity that I need to turn my fan on or air conditioner to have a good night's sleep before I go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
So how can you be productive if you do not have like a good rest? And we're not talking about one night or a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're talking like
It's
a whole
months
year.
and months of like.
So yeah, from our President Tinubu, he was like, "Do not condemn your country, right? Nigeria is a land of prosperity." This country does not really, pertain to Nigeria, but they do have some of these electricity problems. So how do you not condemn your country or be unpatriotic? When people are angry, resentful, they pretty much discombobulated. It's like turning on a light right in the middle of the night. You know how your eyes go. People are like that. It's like you can barely think.
Yeah.
So how do you not condemn your country in these kind of situations?
It's very hard.
How do you stay patriotic and keep loving your country?
And I think it's hard to do that in those circumstances. And I think what's most annoying to people is, like someone rightly said, if we, together with the decision makers, were enjoying the heat and enjoying all the disadvantages that come with power outages, I wouldn't be bothered too much because we're in the same soup. But when the power goes out, once it goes out, a few elites have the automatic generators kick in, these expensive silent ones, they don't hear any noise, but they keep having power running through their lines. Then I start to feel disadvantaged. I start to feel this is an unfair situation because you are the one supposed to make the decision, but you've made an alternative decision in your favor. Whereas the national one, I am the only one suffering it. Then, of course, people cannot stay patriotic. People will be unpatriotic because let's all enjoy it when it goes bad. But where you take yourselves out, that's where people have a
but
problem.
in this instance, when you even think about the government, right, like you said right for the last time, a nationalist leads its people, blah, 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 right? So they're supposed to be serving the people.
Yeah.
So in actual, like in theory, they're supposed to be very selfless.
Yeah.
The people are supposed to be enjoying
an African
actually like exactly
selfless.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because when we go back to Nkrumah, right? Nkrumah he did not own even a single house. He was
There's no
given a
evidence.
landmass and even give it back to the country. It's like, take it, do whatever you want with it. So these are selfless leaders that have the
If
vision
you
for
look at the state of our energy sector now, we have to really carry a lot of rock on our heads as the citizens individually. Yeah, find the mountains around the world and carry and find Nkrumah's stone, wake him up and give it to him. Yes, because if it wasn't for his idea, a brilliant idea into the future, I'm telling you, Ghana would not have even a dam.
Yeah.
Because how can in the 60s or 40s or something they have a dam, and then even 2024 all these governments have passed through and we've not added to it.
Only for a fact, only President Kufuor was able to add the Bui Dam just to support, but that's it.
But
you're just talking about no other government adding to what we already have from our forebears. And I'm just looking around, like there are so many sources of renewable energy now. It is not far-fetched. There are, even China, where they have so much power in abundance, you travel around, you see in Europe everywhere, windmills. Even in countries that don't have enough sunlight, they have solar. They are. So you have thermal. You have so many other sources of generating energy. Even if you can't do the big ones like nuclear power, why aren't we looking at all these other alternative sources which are cheaper?
Your teacher comes to class to teach you something you don't know. That is why he's a teacher. To improve on your mindset. So if they are the ministers, they've been employed to do a certain job, change lives. Not that I'm sitting at my home trying to watch my football or something and then my light go then my TV, I bought it like 2 days ago, destroyed.
But the point, they don't care because at the end of the day,
do you remember when you were in primary
their
school?
mindset, they do believe as a third world country, what do you expect? That's what the whole Minister of State told is.
You know, in school, I just remember when we were in primary school in JSS, you would be sitting in a classroom, no fan, and they schedule a mathematics class for 1 p.m. when there is no AC, no fan in the classroom. When you can just put solar on top of the classrooms to provide. So when you think about it, it's just a lost case.
Yo,
Listen,
we
let's
gotta
put
wrap it up.
For me, before you wrap up, let's put our political colors aside, because
These are serious issues. Yeah,
the country is like, it's sick. We are sick, and we need serious serious medication, because you cannot tell me a small country like Ghana, we have energy issues like power, common electricity. We have the sun.
we have the wind.
We have the wind.
sea.
We have the sea. We have everything, and we're still facing DUMSOR
2024. And we're almost mid-year.
Listen, if I'm the Minister of Energy, I'll resign tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But even if you resign, the next guy coming to take his place.
I will. Okay, so
What new ideas are they bringing?
make sure before you get employed or you take that position, you have a better alternative. Else, I don't think anyone should take that position, so that we the populace will know that we don't have anybody controlling our energy sector. You feel your pain, but hey, we keep voting for the same.
Anyways, what I would say is,
Yeah.
I mean, especially to the youth and people who are kind of, like I said, discombobulated, who are having these like ambivalent like feelings and vibes. If you have the chance, right, to sit down, take a pen and a paper, whatever it is you can get your hands on, and do ask yourself, right, how does your future look like? I don't know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you see in your future? If you think you can make it where you are right now, it's gonna get better, fine. Do whatever you gotta do, stay in the country, work hard and make it. If you do not see anything good coming out of the future, you get a chance to leave, bounce.
We deserve it anyways, because the populace too would go, because of political lines.
Go and vote again.
They will go and vote again.
All right, so from DLS out here in Shanghai, all right, have a blessed day. Stay patriotic, but if you get the chance,
Bounce.
You live in a
Bounce.
country where
That's
before they take your life, they will have to send you a letter.